How we doing tonight? This afternoon, whatever it is. I guess one of the nice things about going last is all the people that aren't serious already caught flights and went back home, so I don't got to speak to as many people. The downside is all the good people have already gone ahead of me, and I got to come behind all that. So, all right, building the why. I had two options. One was dialing and booking appointments. The other was building the why. And asked a few people. They said, do it on dialing and booking appointments. Agents really need help with that. And I said, cool, I'm more comfortable with building the why, so we're going to build the why. If you have ever contributed to a GoFundMe account, raise your hand. GoFundMe account. If you don't know what a GoFundMe account is, raise your hand. Nobody. One person. All right, I'm going to tell you what a GoFundMe account is. A GoFundMe account is a no money account. That's exactly what it is. I don't have any money. I need help. I want something that costs money. Everybody please pitch in and help me pay for what I don't have. And it's called GoFundMe. And I'm not going to go way off on this rabbit trail, but just the very idea of a GoFundMe account, you know how selfish and pathetic that is? Like seriously, think about it. GoFundMe. GoFundMe. Everybody's got problems. Everybody's got money issues. Well, most people have money issues. We don't here. Most people have money issues, and they want people who have money issues to help them who have their own money issues because of their money issues. So let me give you some examples of why people set up GoFundMe accounts. This guy's broke, all right? In 2016, Kanye West sent out a series of tweets talking about how he was like 50-something million dollars in debt. And I don't know how that happened, but 2016, he was tweeting out that he was in debt. And so one of his loyal followers decided to set up a GoFundMe account for $53 million and raised almost $8,000 in like 9 days. Good on him. He said, I don't want your money. I don't need your money. But everybody boo-hoo for Kanye because he's $53 million in debt and needs money from everybody else out there who likes Kanye music. 6 years later, last year, November 2022, apparently he did some more tweeting or Instagramming or Googling, whatever he was doing, and he made some comments that pissed off a lot of people. So his following got behind him again because apparently everybody was going woke and boycotting Kanye because of some stuff he said, and he sent another tweet out and said in like 1 day he lost like $2 billion. So they're setting up a GoFundMe account, let's make Kanye a billionaire again, right? And we're all like big eye roll, whatever, like dude's filthy rich, even if he is that broke or whatever, he deserves it, but he's lived a life that most people will never live, all right? Let's talk about homegirl here. I'm gonna read it straight from what she put on her page, all right? So don't judge me, I do have good reading skills. I'm one TIG money sign to get that tattoo off my forehead. I want to have a better start out in life and have a second chance at life. Please help me. I was young and dumb when I got that. I'm older, one, looking for a job, can't get out, and people call me a druggie every day of my life. And being called 420 is not nice. It's plastered on her forehead. That says 420 on her forehead if you can't see that. And I've almost killed myself over it. I mean, I'm not going to joke about that, but, you know, whatever. She's struggling. Can't stand to look at my face anymore. Save a life, save me, invest in me, and I will show you I can be better with my life. Thank you. Aiming for 800, she raised more than 1,000 in just a few days. Some people that felt bad for her. Okay, hopefully she used that and got that nasty tattoo off her forehead like she said she was going to use the money for. Broke people needing money, asking other broke people to help them fund their, bad decisions. And if you read that whole paragraph with me, there's a bunch more bad decisions in that paragraph than just the tattoo. If 50,000 people give me a $1, I can buy a Tesla. If you could just get that in front of hundreds of thousands of people and 50,000 of them felt compassionate enough to just donate $1, homeboy or homegirl can go buy a Tesla. And then they're probably going to have to do another GoFundMe later on when their battery's dead on the side of the road and they need a tow truck. So I can relate to this because I came from a big family. And I'm not going to read the entire thing because I'm on a time limit apparently. But raising a big family is expensive. You can help. To be clear, I did not blur all that out. It was just on the Google. You can go look it up yourself. Please consider helping an endangered species, the rare and very expensive large family. Everyone knows raising kids is an expensive proposition. They've done GoFundMes. Almost $10,000 was raised for an injured piglet. And we thought we would give people an opportunity to donate to what we think is a much more worthy cause. We're working really hard trying to raise 7 healthy, happy, caring, conservative kids in our home. You might ask, why 70,000? Good question. Well, I'm not asking, but they think we are. So we choose 70,000 for a few reasons. It's very close to the same amount that our family saves taxpayers, blah, 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 blah. My philosophy on that is if you can't fund it, don't get. But that's just me, you know. So I can relate to this. I don't know what a hella hat is, but I'm going bald and I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe page because homeboy at least got $83, all right? It's rough, it really is. Like guys, as we get older, your hair turns gray, mine turns loose, you know? The good thing is I don't have to use Head and Shoulders anymore. I mean, I'm buying Mop and Glow now, but this is great. I can get behind this cause. Help me transition as a trans financial man. My name is Michael, and with all this talk about transgender and transracial issues, I think it's time to come clean with my secret. I'm trans financial, and that means I'm a rich man born in a poor man's body. Please help me. We got any trans financial people out here? I don't know if that's correct, but it was on the Google. So if he raised $478,000, I'm going like trans financial tonight. All right, this one ain't funny. It's Casey's needing a cure for something. This is why, this is the more serious side of GoFundMe. All right, when I first asked how many of y'all know what a GoFundMe account or whoever has contributed on, when you think of GoFundMe, what do you think of? This is a big one, but this is the bigger one. GoFundMe, right on their website, says we're the leader in online memorial fundraising. Every year, 125,000 memorial fundraisers per year. 125,000, $330 million raised every single year through GoFundMes. No money accounts. Broke people asking more broke people to help them out, right? 40+% of Americans would struggle to pay an unexpected bill of $400. That's absolutely mind-boggling. 12 years ago, I would have struggled to pay an unexpected bill of $400. Years ago, and I don't have it in my pocket because I get confused when I got too much stuff I'm supposed to keep track of. But years ago, Andy, I don't know if you remember this. Years ago, you had told us, hey, do the $1,000 fist bump. You remember that? He said, you get $10,000 in your bank account, and then you carry $1,000, $10, $100 bills in your pocket. And the idea was just motivating all of us, hey, go out. This is what you can do. Go put money in your bank account and then carry a wad in your pocket. His wad's a lot bigger. I've seen it. But the $1,000 fist bump, $1,000 in your pocket, 10 grand in your bank account. And here, almost 50% of Americans would struggle to pay an unexpected bill of $400. You can't burn a body for $400. So when you think of GoFundMe, and we're talking burial expenses, they look more like this. Trying to raise $30,000 for a memorial fund. Unfortunately, this couple was killed in the Alabama tornadoes back in 2019. Son went to the hospital with some major health issues. And so the family's trying to raise a fund, or raise funds to help bury the mom and dad. Funeral expenses, right? Trying to raise $15,000. Laying Joanna to rest in memory of Nicola Bewley. This is worldwide. Those are euros. I think that's the euro symbol. I saw that in Ireland, I think. Pound. Yeah, I was way off. All right, pound. Smart people right there. It's worldwide. Broke people all across the world asking more broke people to help them out. Luke Cates. There's no description on there. I'll tell you the description. 2 hours before I boarded a plane to fly out here, I got a phone call. One of my high school buddies and basketball teammates was killed in a motorcycle accident Wednesday night. Left behind a wife, a 3-year-old son, Beckett, and a 1-year-old daughter, Nova. No life insurance. They're burying him on Tuesday. How many of y'all just felt that, oh shit? That's exactly what I said on Thursday afternoon before I left the house when I read that, or got the phone call. Shannon heard it, and she's like, what's going on? Gets off the couch, come in, what happened? Let me tell you something. When you get your clients to that oh shit moment, you know you've built the why big enough. Unfortunately, Luke's insurance agent, another high school basketball teammate of ours, had Luke's property and casualty covered, had tried to get him to do life insurance multiple times, and for whatever reason, Luke's why just wasn't big enough. And how many people who know that family and know that situation aren't thinking right now, why didn't they just have something in place? Just something in place to take care of, at the very least, a burial. Now you got a mom who's gonna have to raise 2 kids by herself, that over the next few years is somehow gonna have to try and explain to her 2 little boy, or to her 2 little kids, little boy and a little girl, why they're growing up without a dad. And I don't care about the circumstances, I don't care whose fault it was, I don't care about any of that. You now have another family, another statistic that's having to set up a GoFundMe account because their why wasn't big enough to think long term and make sure this stuff was taken care of for the well-being and for the prosperity of their family after he's passed on. 37 years old. That's the reality of the world we live in. That's the reality of what happens when you go sit in front of your clients. We see all these faces and names and scroll through GoFundMe and how many accounts are set up every year, and they're just statistics. But now when you see that and you hear that, every single one of you knows somebody that's got a motorcycle or likes to do extreme sports or has a family with 2 little kids, and now it's like, crap, I hope they have enough life insurance. I hope somebody's talked to them about life insurance, and if they haven't, then I need to. That's what I have to do when I get back and go home from here. Beautiful family, taken back at Christmas time this last year. He will never come back. And if your clients don't get that oh shit moment when you're sitting in the home with them, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this as nice as I can, but that's on you. That's on you. That is one thing that you have to learn as an agent in this business, okay? They already sent the card in. They know they need it. It's up here like, yeah, well, if something happens, blah, 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 we better have this taken care of. So they've sent a card in, and you got the card. And you're bitching that they didn't answer the first time you called them, or the second time, or the third time, and now the leads are no good. Anytime that happens in your mind, you need to see a picture of a family. You need to think of your friends and your families that have kids, and you need to be thinking, this is more than just they're not answering the phone right now. This is more than it was just a disconnected number. You need to put a name and a face with that lead in front of you. Whether it's, you obviously haven't seen them yet, but you need to be thinking, here's a cry for help. It's less than 1% of people that get these mailers in the mail that actually send them back in. That is a infinitesimally small amount. And these are people that need what we have. They're asking for help, and now they need somebody that's going to care enough to help build and draw the why out of them that they already know they have. And you got to be willing to take the time to do that. Life insurance saleswomen don't do that. But people that care are the people that do that. So I get phone calls all the time from agents, and I'm guilty of this when I first started, so don't think that the people up here never had to deal with this kind of stuff. But you ever get that call from a brand new agent after their first appointment or second appointment? I didn't make a sale, but they really like me. They really like me. You know what I'm talking about? They like you. Why didn't you make the sale? Well, because no, hang on, I'll tell you. Mark said it a little bit ago. Marcus said it. They don't trust you. They might like you, but they don't trust you. Why? Because if they like you and they trust you and the need is there, they're gonna get it from you. And you're like, well, Mark, how do I build the why? Like, what steps do I take? I don't have a pretty 3-point alliteration, 6 easy steps on how to build the why. I'm just gonna speak from the heart for the next 15 minutes, and I'm gonna get Terry and Tia up here in just a second. They're gonna come out here in just a second, and I'm just gonna kind of do a little interaction so you can kind of get a glimpse of what that looks like, okay? But the simplicity of it at its base is to build the why, you have to be willing to get a little bit uncomfortable and ask more questions.
Hello.
Be willing to get uncomfortable, ask more questions until you can sense they got that oh shit moment. And you know how I know that? Because we just went from laughing and homegirl with 420 and her crazy life choices and the absurdity of why people start GoFundMes. But as soon as we talked about somebody I knew and the fact that it was recent and they haven't even put his body in the ground yet, all of a sudden you made a connection. And it hit a spot in your soul where you were like, that could be my friends. That could be my family. What's the biggest lie in society today? I got more time. I ain't need to worry about that right now. When I was 26 years old and got invited to this business and I was told, hey, it's about life insurance, go check it out. I was like, life insurance? Isn't that something old people deal with? We think we have time. Oh, when I get old, then I'll take care of it. I don't know about y'all, but one of the biggest clientele bases I have are people that are retiring and they're like, crap, I don't have life insurance anymore. Had it all these years. It was one of my benefits on my job, and now I'm retired, and they're in their 60s. Most of them have some health issues, and they're trying to get life insurance, right? So when you go sit in the home with people, you have to be willing to ask those uncomfortable questions. So every time I'm sitting in the home, let's say with Tony, he sent a final expense card in. I sit there and I say, Tony, hey, help me understand, what was the purpose for sending this form in? Why did you send this card in? And what do they say every time? Not well, sometimes. That's a different workaround. What do they say when you say, hey, why did you send this card in? If something happens to me, I want to make sure my family's taken care of. If something, like they found the secret of life and just maybe the odds something might still happen to the limb. No, it's when something happens to you. You're not outliving life. You're going to die. You just might be 97 or you might be 37. You don't know. We don't know. And that's why you have to be willing to ask those uncomfortable questions to help get them prepared. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to skip the next section I was going to talk about because looks like they just cut 10 minutes. They didn't, but it feels like they cut 10 minutes off my time. Terry and Tia, I need y'all to come out here real quick, please. Y'all give it up for Terry and Tia. Have a seat, please. What I'm going to do over the next 10, 12 minutes, instead of telling you, ask these questions, ask this, there's no magical question to ask. I mean, there's going to be some good ones. But the point is, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable because these agents, they go from, Tony, what happened? Why'd you send this card in? What was the need for this? What were you wanting this to accomplish? And of course, they say, well, if something happens to me, and what do? Oh, yeah, that's great, man, that's great. For $129.99 a month, we can get you $150,000, 30-year term, even has the ROP on it, the LB benefits on it, and $129.99. What you think? Right? It's real transactional. It's not relational. It's just superficial. And let me say this. If you take that answer to the question you asked them when he says, well, if something happens to me, I want to make sure my family's taken care of, and you go right into your sales pitch or right into running numbers or looking at prescriptions, you're being superficial too. You have to care enough to help them realize this is what they're going to face. And the difference between them having to set up a GoFundMe account or them saying, hey, Dad had this coverage in place, financially, we don't have to worry about that. Now let's focus and celebrate his life and grieve properly and adjust to life without him without worrying about financial obligations. That's what you need to make sure your clients understand the reality on this. So, Terry and Tia, y'all sent a card in, a mortgage protection lead. We've already built the rapport. They like me, right? We've built, right? Yes. Okay, all right, just making sure.
We like you.
Think about it like this. Think about it like this, okay? You women, y'all do this so well. You go to your vineyards, you go on your brunches, you go to your Starbucks. Y'all do all this stuff for girls' date, lunch out, whatever it is, and y'all start talking, and you start talking, oh, Jerry's breaking up with me, and blah, 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 and, we just got invited to go to this kid's birthday party, but he didn't come to ours, and so I just don't know if I'm going to take the kids there. And what do y'all do? Nuh-uh. Girl, are you serious? What happened? Have you called your mom yet? Have you called his mom? Like, are you serious? Right? And you start asking all these questions. Why? Because you care. No, because you love gossip. But you do care, right? And that's the point. When you're sitting here, you got to show them that you care enough to help fight through that uncomfortableness to get them to that, oh shit, moment. Like, this has to be done before he leaves tonight. All right, watch and learn. Terry, Tia, you got this form y'all sent in. Terry, it's got your signature on it. Help me understand, Terry, when you filled this form out for mortgage protection, what was going through your mind that prompted you to fill this out and go drop it back in the mailbox? Help me understand.
Well, we just went in debt buying this house that she picked out.
All right,
And so I was just saying, well, the least I could do is, if something happened to her, I don't have to be burdened with the payment. So that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Think about yourself.
All right.
You was thinking about yourself.
A little bit, but
so what if we flip that
uh-huh.
and something happens to you?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't told y'all this yet, but you the breadwinner.
Yeah.
She's staying at home with Isaiah, Elijah, Anaya, and Taylor.
Yeah.
I got it. All right. Right.
Oh, so she already sold.
All right. Give me the Platt answer. The if something happened.
Yeah. So all jokes aside,
Yeah.
I do want to make sure that, God forbid, if something do happen to me, that Tia and the kids are taken care of and, not left with a big debt.
For sure. Tia, he said if. We know it's when. Right. It's going to happen. We just don't know. Right.
Don't know.
Okay. Love you, Terry, but I'm done talking to you. Tia.
You can hold it, Terry.
Tia, I need you to help me understand something.
Yes.
Okay. Body language, lean in. Voice, complexion, tone, show that you care. Okay. Because you care and connect. Tia, Terry works. Right. He got a normal 9 to 5.
Right.
Yeah. When he gets off work, does he call you or text you every single day to let you know, hey, babe, I'm off, I'm headed home, checking in with you?
No.
He don't?
No.
Okay. Let's say he do. All right.
Okay. Yeah, he
does.
does.
He does.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Listen, let me tell you something. If I tell my wife I'm done at a certain time and I don't call her,
It's a problem.
yeah, it's a problem.
No.
So I call
Well,
her.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So he calls you. He's off at 5 o'clock. So by the time he gets out in the parking deck, gets in his car, calls you, says, hey, baby, I'm on my way home. Sometimes you might need him to pick up something from the store,
That's right.
All right. But you hearing from him when he's off of work.
Yes.
Okay. And is it fairly normal to say that every time he's off of work, unless he's got something else planned, he's coming home to you and the
Straight
kids?
home.
That's right.
Yep.
So y'all live, 20, 25 minutes away?
How you know? That's
Okay.
right.
Would it be fair to say that by about 5:30 every single day, unless there's already plans, Terry's home from work?
That's true.
Okay. You know what's crazy, guys? When I was driving up here on 385 here in South Carolina, we're in South Carolina. When I was driving up here on 385 in South Carolina, they got them, not billboards, but them electronic signs over the road.
Right.
And they say, click it or ticket, don't text and drive, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
all
Well, they put stats up there. And literally, as I was on my way here to y'all's house, I saw this stat that said in 2022, last year, there were 1,015 traffic fatalities on South Carolina roads.
Wow.
That's just traffic fatalities, all right? I've already done the math for you. That's about 3 people a day. So, Tia, we're sitting here right now at 6:30 on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
Terry's obviously made it home from work. But right now, somewhere else here in South Carolina, somebody's getting a door knock on her front door from a South Carolina highway patrolman,
Yep.
and he's letting her know that her husband is not coming home anymore.
That's true.
So I'm curious. Terry's usually calling you about 5:05. Baby, I'm on the way home, and by 5:30, he's at home. Y'all getting dinner ready, right? Imagine this with me. Tomorrow, you kiss Terry. He goes off to work. For whatever reason, the kids are a little more rambunctious. It's been a rough day for you. Kids are rambunctious. One of them's even puking their guts up. You've been dealing with that crap.
Right.
And now you're sitting here looking at the clock. It's almost 5 o'clock, and you're like, yes, my partner, my life buddy is coming home. He's going to help me take care of these crazy kids. He's
Right.
going to whoop their butts, get them in line.
Yep.
He's going to do his daddy thing. I'm just going to make sure he's got a hot meal ready for him, right? All right. So you're sitting there, you're dealing with the kids. They're stressing you out. You're counting down time. It's 5:20. Terry ain't called or texted.
Yeah.
All right. It's 5:20. You might think, okay, that might be a little unusual, but, phone could have died, whatever. Like, it's, whatever. You got stuff you're dealing with.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's 5:45 now. Kids are still screaming. Dinner's getting cold.
Yeah.
What is going through your mind?
Where is Terry?
Where's Terry?
Where is Terry?
On a level of 1 to 10, what's the concern factor?
Probably an 8.
8. Okay. Because that's not normal.
That's not normal.
All right. So 5:45, Terry ain't reached out. You're at an 8 level,
Yeah.
all right? It's 6:25.
On real work now.
Yeah, it's 6:25. You haven't heard from Terry.
Right.
Help me understand what is going through your mind.
Has something happened to him? Has he been in an accident?
Are you
is he
calling
lost?
people right now?
Probably will be. I'm calling his job.
Yep.
to
His
see if
boss
he's still
said
there.
he timed out at 5 o'clock, and him and Dejan went out to their cars and got in their cars and left.
Then
So
I'm
he ain't at
calling-
work.
Well, I'm calling his mom and
Calling his
them.
mom and
See
calling his mom and
yeah,
them.
Maybe he stopped by mom's
Yep.
house and his phone is
She ain't
dead.
heard from him.
Well, daggone
She
it.
ain't- yeah.
We're going to call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock. There's no Terry. There's been no updates with the police, nothing. But it's 7 o'clock and Terry's not home. Like, are you at this point giving any thought to maybe his phone died?
I'm past that.
You're past that.
Like something has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 7:48 to you. You ain't heard from Terry. Kids are crazy. Nobody's eating dinner. Your stomach's in knots, but they're the headlights coming in the driveway. And you look out your door, the window at the front of your front door, and thank God there's Terry's car. You're feeling a lot better, right?
Relief, yep.
But wait a minute. No. It looks like Terry's car. It's similar, but it's an unmarked state trooper.
I already know.
He gets out of his car to you, and he puts that full brimmed hat on, and you see his chest go, and he starts walking up towards your house, and he don't look happy. Tia, he's coming to tell you that Terry's not coming home no more. He's coming to tell you that those rambunctious kids and those sick kids are now your problem by yourself for the rest of your life. That's what he's coming to tell you. He's coming to tell you that the love of your life, your best friend, the father of your kids, is never going to speak to you again because he can't. And now you got the responsibility of explaining to your kids why they will never see their daddy again. Right now, Tia, somebody is having that conversation here in South Carolina. Right now.
Right.
Thank God it's not you.
Yep.
Terry has just told me 10 minutes ago that he wanted to make sure if something happened to him, and we fixed it, when something happens to him, he wanted to make sure that you, Elijah, Isaiah, Anaya, and Taylor have a legacy financially that y'all are taken care of so that y'all never have to worry about losing the house or any other financial obligation again.
Right.
He's just told me that he wants to give that to you. I'm asking you, are you willing to take it just as much as he's ready to give it to you?
Yes.
Is that why I'm here tonight?
Yes.
One is very superficial and transactional. The other is realistic and relational. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When an agent tells me they wanted to think about it, they needed to crunch the numbers, what I'm hearing is you weren't relational and you weren't real with them. You weren't concerned enough about them. You were more concerned about your level of comfort and just trying to blitz through because you need to make $800, because you need to make $500. Here's a family that needs to make sure that if daddy doesn't come home tomorrow, mama and the kids are taken care of for the rest of their lives. I couldn't tell you the last time I heard a let me think about it. Could not tell you it. It was probably like 5-6 years ago. And when I did hear it, I'm immediately in the car thinking, where did I not connect with them? Where did I not help build that why big enough? Build the why and watch the objections disappear. Thank you, guys.